Welcome back. It is Thanksgiving Sunday, and for many Canadians, that means a weekend full of sports. The Jays, well, we'll have to talk about that in a minute. They just wrapped up their wild card series, but there's still a full day of NFL football on CTV, with sports betting industry, of course, exploding across the country. Many fans are placing some wagers on games. I want to bring in Andrew Pace. Andrew is the founder of inplayLIVE. This is a sports wagering community that has about 1,000 or so members, both in Canada and the United States. And Andrew joins us from Vancouver. Good to have you, Andrew.
Pleasure to be here, Angie.
You know what? I know all eyes today are going to be on the football field, but I got to ask you about last night's game with the Jays. And if I were a betting person, oh my gosh, either I made a lot of money or I really, really lost. So give me your sense here, because games can be so, I mean, everyone talks about, oh my God, there's 2 minutes left in a game, but that can be pivotal in what the outcome is going to be. So your sense.
Yeah, for us personally with baseball, that would be a wager that we would have taken actually live, potentially on the Mariners once the game was tied, actually.
Okay.
But the 8-1 odds, that was like 8-1. That was astronomical what happened yesterday. A series of postseason records were broken with that comeback by the Mariners. Unfortunate for Jays fans, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. And with all of this, of course, and we're talking about sports gaming and betting and whatnot, I mean, it's an industry. It happens, but it can be abused quite so. So with what you guys are doing with inplayLIVE, how do you ensure then that, you know what, as games are being played, people are playing this, are able to sort of place their bets, et cetera, and do it well and safely without it turning into something that could be detrimental?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Sports bettors, you know, gambling in general, people are being inundated right now, obviously, with the changes across North America and specifically in Ontario since April 4th. So to respond to that, insure is actually not the right term. We can't control what other people are doing.
Right.
But what we do at inplayLIVE is precisely, you know, why we created the business. We help sports bettors that are recreational bettors that perhaps do lose, you know, over the course of time. We help them to make much more responsible decisions. We have a plan, we have data, we have a system in place. And to give you a really good example, what a lot of people are probably doing right now across the sports betting world is they're probably depositing, you know, $50 to $100 to make a pregame parlay on the NFL today right now. And we're not betting a lot of pregame wagers. What we would rather tell someone to do is you take that same $50 or $100 and you're managing your money, deploying small units, maybe $1 at a time, that is actually going to last you a longer period of time so that you're not making a negative impact on your family, your finances, or anything like that. And we're making smart data-backed decisions that can actually grow your bankroll and, believe it or not, win some money in a really dark space.
And it's so interesting you say that, because when we talk about sports books, of course, we know that they make huge profits, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. But when you look at the individual, that, of course, doesn't spell into what they're going to be taking home, which can lead to, as you've put forward there, financial troubles. It could lead to, you know, gambling becoming a bit of, you know, unfortunately, an addiction, a habit, et cetera. How have you seen them with what you're doing and how you're seeing gambling, or I guess sports betting, I should say, becoming more accessible, that you're sort of trying to pivot it towards a safer way of not only just enjoying the game, but being able to sort of, I guess, win in the end of it?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult concept for a lot of people to grasp, because every single wager that's available for us to take is designed for us to lose over time. But for us, we're taking, you know, odds where the outcome is actually more likely than the odds imply. So this is actually very similar to buying an undervalued stock. You've done the research, you've really referenced what that company is worth. You found a great opportunity to buy that stock. That doesn't mean you're going to win over time, right, with that one specific stock. But when you apply volume, you actually can win over time. And one of the great things about inplayLIVE is we do have a community, you know, where we can really fall on each other, be a support system. Right. And when we do make mistakes, we learn from them, we tweak some dials, and that's where wagering as a group and not sort of hiding it under the dinner room table from your family and actually being transparent about what you're winning or losing and how much you're wagering is so important. So that's really where we've made an impact on people's lives. I think is being transparent, not hiding gambling. We don't like the G word. We like to say that we invest in sports, but a lot of people gamble. Yes. So that's really what it's all about.
It's a pretty cool concept, and I certainly can see with that element of it, it's certainly going to keep growing. We're going to talk to you about it more as we sort of continue to follow the pace and all of this. Andrew, thank you so much for giving us your time today. Andrew Pace is the founder of inplayLIVE. We'll speak to you again soon, Andrew. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me, Angie.
You're very welcome.